I've been buying and selling real estate since 2004. For over 20 years now, I've negotiated thousands of deals. Everything from entry-level single-family houses to multi-million-dollar luxury homes, even development and commercial deals. I've also built and run an 8-figure real estate software and education business. Given this extensive background, I often get asked about my sales experience and how I help other real estate entrepreneurs to excel in sales. So in this video, I'm going to share what works well, also costly mistakes to avoid. In business and especially real estate, sales is perhaps the most crucial skill to learn and develop. Sales impacts everything you do, not just getting good deals. Sales is important to secure strategic partners, hire key team members, and especially raise capital. You cannot build a successful business without learning how to effectively persuade others. When it comes to negotiating good deals with sellers or agents, first seek to understand. Sales is not about you, it's about the customer. The only way to solve problems and find solutions is to really know the seller's situation. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Instead of thinking about what you're going to say next, first listen to comprehend their unique situation. Known as active listening, good sales is about asking the right questions at the right times. One common mistake many novice real estate entrepreneurs make is they overpromise and they underdeliver. One way to prevent that is to create a commission structure that is tied to customer satisfaction. For example, in my real estate coaching program called Fast Track, years ago we implemented a process where customer satisfaction scores impacted sales commissions. Now, this adjustment helped reduce overselling and improved customer satisfaction. Another common mistake is a lack of adherence to a sales process. Many salespeople operate without proper training or structured methods, relying instead on improvisation. But like they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. For example, when buying discounted properties, it's vital to use a process that includes qualifying leads properly and asking critical questions to ensure property owners are ready to sell. Now, this includes using techniques like the takeaway close, which involves asking if there are any reasons that might prevent the seller from proceeding. For example, you might say to a seller, "Now that we've agreed on price and terms, is there anything that would prevent you from moving forward and executing a purchase agreement?" Another common reason many real estate entrepreneurs struggle with sales is because they don't properly follow up with their prospects. A good follow-up sequence requires both frequency and efficacy. Did you know that statistics show that 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th follow-up? That means whoever stays in close contact with the prospect the longest wins the deal. But it's not just about how often you follow up. The key to successful follow-up is to avoid generic messaging like just following up. Instead, provide value such as sharing important information or offering ongoing solutions related to the prospect's needs and wants. This personalized approach shows that you're genuinely interested in helping them. Ask yourself, how can I stand out above the competition? What can I do so the seller remembers me over all others? The way I like to think about it is when the customer is finally ready, who is the first person they will think of to call? I once had a seller call me after 1 year of following up. He said, "I'm finally ready to sell and I'm going with you because you've patiently stuck with me longer than anyone else and I feel like you genuinely care about me and want to help me." When it comes to having a structured sales process, there are 3 main stages: qualifying, setting, and closing. Here's what these 3 stages look like in real estate when acquiring discounted properties from motivated sellers. The first stage, qualifying, is about getting in front of the right type of homeowner and then finding out if they want to sell their home. In other words, finding quality leads that might be motivated to sell at a discount. One place to find qualified sellers is PropWire. If you've never heard of PropWire, it has over 157 million distressed properties nationwide, and it's 100% free to search and download as many leads as you want. You simply choose your market, select a lead type, and then download the list. Now, to start your first search for free, just go to joinpropwire.com. After finding qualified leads, the second stage is setting the sale. A setter's role is to ensure the leads have genuine interest in selling. For example, in wholesale real estate, follow what we call the 4 pillars of motivation. Is the property in some kind of disrepair? Is the seller facing a pressing financial hardship? Is there urgency to sell the property? And is the seller willing to sell at a discounted price? The seller's role is to uncover if the 4 pillars of motivation are present. If not, trying to close them is a waste of time. Effective setters log detailed notes to ensure the closer has all the necessary information for a productive conversation. The third stage is closing the sale. Successful closing involves controlling the conversation, asking direct questions, challenging beliefs, pre-handling objections, and in wholesaling, making the offer and executing a written contract. A good closer is like a good doctor and can diagnose the seller's needs by asking specific, high-quality questions. A good closer challenges beliefs and helps navigate between overconfidence and a lack of confidence in the seller. Pre-handling objections involves addressing potential concerns early in the conversation. When making the offer, a good closer assumes the sale and presents options rather than asking if they're ready to sell. And to help you follow a structured sales process, be sure to get my free scripts. I'll put the download link in the description below this video. But remember, scripts are good to give you a guideline, but you still have to be genuine and authentic. And again, as I mentioned earlier, follow-up is crucial. Never forget, the real money is in the follow-up. This is where you address any remaining objections and finalize the sale. If you need to do another call to close a deal, always book a follow-up time immediately. This ensures you stay on track and increases your chances of closing the deal. By understanding and implementing these strategies, you can enhance your sales effectiveness and build stronger customer relationships. Now, one final thought for new real estate entrepreneurs. One of the best ways to find your first customer is to start with your immediate network. Ask friends, family, and colleagues if they or someone they know might be interested in selling a distressed property. Referrals are one of the best ways to get started. This is how my student Hanif Sykes found his first deal in Pennsylvania. One day while at work at his job, he decided to tell his coworkers that he was looking for a real estate deal to buy. About an hour later, a new employee in the office that he didn't know approached him and said, "Hey, I overheard you talking that you were looking for a real estate deal. My mom moved to New York and her house has been sitting vacant for a while, and she's about to lose it to unpaid property taxes and desperately needs to sell it." He asked Hanif, "Would you be able to take a look and see if you can help my mom?" So Hanif said, "Connect me with your mom and I'll see what I can do." This was a Thursday afternoon, so Hanif talked to his mom. Her name was Linda Clark. She was elderly and left the house. It was in disrepair and full of belongings, and she was overwhelmed at the prospect of removing everything and trying to sell it. Hanif told her he could buy it as is for all cash and handle everything. She loved that idea and told him if he could do that, she'd gladly sell it for $67,000. So Hanif set a time to see the property that Saturday, and sure enough, it was full of stuff. It needed a lot of work, but $67,000 was a good deal, so he agreed to the price and they signed a contract and agreed to move forward. That same day, he posted the deal for sale on an investor group on Facebook for $90,000 and immediately had an overwhelming response from interested buyers. In fact, he had so many people contacting him about it that he decided to do an open house the next day so everyone could come and see it at the same time. And when he got there, cars were lined all the way down the street. There were dozens of buyers that had come to see it. One buyer came up to Hanif and said, "What would it take to lock this up right now and tell all these people to go home?" Hanif said, "Make me an offer." So the buyer said, "I'll pay $103,000 cash and close in 7 days." That was $13,000 more than Hanif was asking. So he thought about it and said no. He suspected there might be a higher paying buyer. There were still a lot more buyers that were reaching out to him that wanted to see it, so he scheduled another open house the following day and showed the property to about 10 more interested buyers. And after everyone had left and he was locking up the property and about to leave, a gentleman pulled up to the house. He got out of his truck. He was covered in paint. Apparently he had just come from one of his rental properties that he was painting. He walked the property in about 5 minutes. He took some pictures, and while standing in the street about to leave, he turned to Hanif and said, "I'll give you $109,000 cash. I'll put down earnest money right now and I'll close in a week." So Hanif pulled out his laptop, signed the contract right on the spot, right there in the street for $109,000. Like I mentioned, this property was full of stuff, so Hanif personally moved out all of her belongings and put them in storage for her. Now on the day of closing, the buyer came with $109,000. Linda got $67,000 less back taxes she owed, and Hanif got a check for $42,000. But that's not the end of the story. Hanif went back to his coworker who wasn't expecting anything and was just trying to help his mom, and Hanif gave him $10,000 just for referring his mom to him. Now, Hanif didn't have to do that, but he understood the power of referrals. That coworker ended up sending other deals to Hanif that he closed and made money on. Now, this story is very inspiring. To listen to the full interview I did with Hanif, I'll put the link in the description below for you to watch later. What I love about this story with Hanif is it proves that even if you're brand new, you can make sales and reach success. Recently, I had the opportunity to participate in an all-day sales competition. I was provided random leads, and I had to set and close with a live audience watching. At the end of the day, I successfully closed 5 deals. I recorded those calls, and then afterwards I did a video series where I analyzed each close and explained my sales process in detail. So next, I want you to watch that series. It will help you increase your sales skills and conversions. Watch that now, and I'll see you on the next video.